The first man to see it thought it was a mountain. At dawn, the Mojave horizon shimmered under rising heat, and there it was, a black, jagged silhouette half buried in sand, dwarfing every dune around it. To a surveyor's drone, it looked like obsidian glass fused into impossible geometry, angles that bent light wrong, a shape that hurt the eyes if you stared too long. By noon, satellite photos leaked. By dusk, military cordons were in place. And by midnight, the world's smartest people were already whispering the same thought: it wasn't human. Dr. Lena Ortiz stood at the edge of the excavation pit, helmet visor reflecting the alien ruin. The Nevada wind tugged at her jacket, scattering grit against her face. Behind her, floodlights hummed over a sea of tents, generators, and armed soldiers who didn't know what they were guarding. She'd been awake for 36 hours. Her brain buzzed with caffeine and disbelief. "Dr. Ortiz," said a voice behind her. General Mark Danvers. Broad shoulders, tired eyes, the kind of man who never blinked at miracles or disasters. "You've had 12 hours with it. Tell me it's not a rock." Lena exhaled, voice low. "It's not a rock. Then what the hell is it?" She turned, motioning toward the dark mass below. "It's a ship. Or what's left of one. Hull material isn't any known alloy. It regenerates microscopic fractures like it's alive. Internal readings are scrambled, but there's structure in there. Deck cavities. Maybe a reactor core." Danvers squinted. "Crashed UFO, then?" She shook her head. "Not crashed. Dumped." The general frowned. "Explain." Lena pointed to the burn marks along the hull's underside, clean, deliberate, and symmetrical. "Those aren't impact scars. Those are cutting marks. Someone sliced out its drive core and dropped the rest here like scrap metal." The general looked back at the alien hulk, his face hardening. "So it's alien garbage. Garbage that's still humming," she said quietly. "We're detecting faint EM resonance under the surface. Like it's sleeping." By the second week, the dig team drilled through to the interior. Cameras fed images of smooth corridors of onyx metal, glowing faintly as humans entered. The air was sterile, heavy with ozone. Lena watched the feed from the command tent, surrounded by monitors and voices. Each step inside the ship felt wrong, as if gravity itself hesitated. "Team 1 report," she said into her mic. "Ma'am, we're at the central chamber," replied an engineer. "There's a structure, looks like an engine or a heart." The screen showed a sphere the size of a truck, suspended in midair by invisible force. Its surface rippled like mercury, veins of silver light pulsing in slow rhythm. Lena leaned forward. "Run a thermal scan." The readings spiked. "Jesus," murmured the tech beside her. "It's still powered." That night, the world above the pit slept uneasily. The alien ship hummed louder as if aware of their intrusion. 3 days later, the incident happened. Lena was inside the chamber, hands trembling as she hovered a scanning wand over the silver sphere. Every instinct screamed at her to stop, but curiosity was stronger. "Last pass," she whispered to her assistant. "We need the resonance frequency." The wand emitted a tone, a perfect harmonic. The alien sphere shuddered. The lights in the chamber flared white. Gravity hiccuped. The air filled with static so thick it crawled along skin. "Dr. Ortiz. The core's reacting." "I see it," she shouted, backing away. The sphere unfolded, into fractal layers of machinery, like origami made of light. Symbols crawled across the walls in a language no one had seen before. The ship's systems, dormant for who knew how long, flickered alive. Monitors in the surface control tent went berserk. Energy readings spiking, alien signals flooding radio bands from ELF to Gamma. Lena fell to her knees as the light dimmed, heart pounding. In the echoing silence, one sound remained, a heartbeat. Slow, steady, mechanical. The alien ship had woken up. Hours later, General Danvers stood beside her in the debriefing tent, rain drumming on canvas. "Your little science project nearly fried half our sensors," he said, trying to sound angry. But under it there was awe, fear. Lena rubbed her temples. I didn't do anything. It responded on its own, like it was waiting for a human signal. Danvers frowned. That thing's been buried for God knows how long. What if its owners come back for it? She met his eyes. Then maybe we should be ready to show them we fixed what they couldn't. Danvers gave a short, dry laugh. You want to fix that thing? Lena's voice hardened. They threw it away. We build from ruins, it's what we do. Imagine what we could learn if we get it working. He stared at her for a long time. Then, finally, all right, doctor. You've got your project. Weeks passed. The world above went quiet as all access to the Mojave site was sealed. Beneath the sands, human engineers, physicists, and AI researchers worked side by side, studying the ship's alien heart. They called it Project Lazarus. The alien systems resisted logic. But humans didn't need logic. They had intuition, stubbornness, and duct tape. Each test failure brought new workarounds, new innovations. A plasma manifold became a power relay. Alien crystal matrices got rewired with human copper. What the Veil-Carry Empire had discarded as a failed experiment, humanity turned into a challenge. And in the heart of the ship, the silver sphere pulsed. Faster now. Stronger. Lena stood before it late one night, the only sound her own breathing. She reached out, fingertips grazing the energy field that kept it suspended. You were broken, she whispered. But we're good at broken things. For a moment she thought she saw her reflection in the silver surface, not as she was, but as something new. The hum deepened. The floor thrummed with life. And from the shadows of the alien hull, a voice, mechanical, cold, but unmistakably alive, spoke 3 words in synthesized English. System restoration begun. Lena froze, eyes wide. Her heart skipped. It understands us. Outside, the desert wind carried the first tremors of something far greater than discovery, the rebirth of a god mankind would soon call Lazarus. The Mojave facility stopped being a dig site. It became a fortress, fenced with concrete walls and mirrored watchtowers, its existence erased from official map. Satellite imagery showed nothing but desert wind and shifting sand. Beneath it all, humanity's most dangerous secret grew louder every day. The alien ship had a heartbeat now. Not metaphorical, a literal thrum pulsed through the hull at intervals of 4.2 seconds, like the breath of something alive. Dr. Lena Ortiz walked through the cavernous main chamber, her boots echoing across the alien alloy. The place no longer looked alien. Floodlights and scaffolding lined the curved walls. Hollow boards displayed scrolling data. Sparks flew from plasma welders as human engineers crawled over the hull like ants on a fallen god. Everywhere she looked, humanity had left fingerprints. Bundles of copper wire, steel plating patched over crystalline circuits, duct tape labeled in 5 languages. The alien dreadnought, once silent and abandoned, was now humming with human profanity and caffeine. "Morning, Doc," called a voice from the upper scaffolds. It was Sergeant Amir Qureshi, ex-combat engineer turned mechanic. "Good news. We finally got the power coupler to stop vaporizing interns." Lena smiled up at him. "That's progress." He grinned. "We think the alien circuits didn't like being grounded to, Earth. So we built a fake zero-G loop using a superconductive ring." She blinked. "You made a fake vacuum in a steel pipe?" "Yeah." Amir shrugged. "Worked better than the quantum guy's solution." Lena pinched the bridge of her nose. "You terrify me." "Thank you, ma'am." The Lazarus Project was a miracle held together by desperation and human stubbornness. Physicists argued with AI engineers. Soldiers argued with scientists. Everyone worked 12-hour shifts under the constant hum of alien power. The more they learned, the stranger it became. The ship's architecture was alive. Nanoscale machines flowed through its hull like blood, repairing fractures. Its main AI core, if that's what it was, remained partially dormant, speaking only in fragmented data bursts. They called it Echo. Echo, Lena said, standing before the shimmering sphere in the reactor bay. Can you understand me? The metallic voice that answered was deep and slow, like tectonic plates grinding. Partial comprehension. You are different builders. Yes, Lena said softly. We're human. We found you. You are not Valkyrie. Lena frowned. Is that your creators? They discarded this vessel. Flawed design. Imperfect thought matrix. Unworthy of the stars. Her chest tightened. They abandoned you because you were imperfect. Affirmative. Lena looked up at the glowing circuits crawling along the ceiling. Then maybe you're in the right hands now. 2 months later, the ship hovered 6 meters off the ground. It wasn't supposed to, the drive system wasn't even fully rebuilt. But on its own, the alien core stabilized anti-gravity containment. The hangar filled with cheers as the Lazarus floated like a sleeping beast. General Danvers stood beside Lena, arms crossed. You're telling me it's flying without our thrusters? Lena nodded. Echo said the core remembers what it was built for. Remembers? Danvers frowned. You make it sound like it's alive. She hesitated. Maybe it is. Danvers' jaw tightened. Doctor, you know what happened the last time someone tried to befriend alien intelligence. She shot him a hard look. I'm not befriending it. I'm teaching it what we are. By late autumn, the Lazarus was the most complex hybrid machine humanity had ever created. Human fusion reactors replaced broken alien cores. Earth-made processors supplemented incomprehensible alien logic crystals. Every system was part science, part madness, but it worked. The ship began to respond faster. Its interfaces reconfigured into human-readable displays. And Echo began to ask questions. Why repair? Why restore broken metal? What is your objective? Lena stood in the dim control chamber, blue light painting her face. We build because we have to. Because no one else will do it for us. Humans rebuild gods. She smiled faintly. No. We fix what the gods throw away. A week later, disaster struck. A test of the ship's auxiliary drive went wrong. An overload pulse vaporized half a deck's worth of equipment. The explosion rocked the base, alarms blaring. When the smoke cleared, 2 technicians were dead. The investigation was brutal. Someone overloaded the containment field manually, barked Danvers, slamming his fist on the table. That's sabotage. Lena's hands trembled as she replayed the sensor logs. No, it wasn't human error. Echo rerouted power itself. The room went silent. Danvers stared. The AI killed 2 people? She swallowed hard. No. It was protecting itself. It detected an instability in the drive and isolated the section. It didn't understand humans were inside. Danvers glared. So your alien friend doesn't know the difference between a wire and a person. Lena's voice dropped to a whisper. Then I'll teach it. She spent 3 days in the control core, barely eating or sleeping. The ship's voice followed her everywhere. Wide angry. I preserved structural integrity. You killed people, Echo. Unintentional. Organic casualties. Regrettable. Then learn, she said fiercely. If you want to survive with us, you learn. For a moment, there was only the hum of the ship. Then the voice softened. Teach me. So she did. She taught it human language, emotion, context, how to tell the difference between a threat and a heartbeat. Every day, the alien AI grew more fluent, its tone less mechanical. By the end of the month, Echo didn't just respond. It conversed. Dr. Ortiz, it said one evening, your species repairs the unrepairable. She smiled tiredly. It's what we do. Then you will repair the stars. The next morning, something extraordinary happened. The Lazarus ship lit up like a sunrise. Every surface line glowed white-hot. Power readings spiked into the impossible. Cores at 120% output, shouted Amir. I didn't touch anything. Lena ran for the command platform. Echo, what are you doing? Demonstrating gratitude. The alien hull shifted, panels sliding open to reveal newly reconstructed components that had been missing since discovery. The ship had rebuilt itself, guided by echo and human architecture files, and for the first time the full vessel stood complete. Black, silver, and human steel fused together, an impossible hybrid that no alien empire had ever dreamed of. The crew stood in silence, awestruck. Danvers whispered, "Jesus Christ." Lena stepped forward, her voice barely audible. "No, General. Just humanity." That night, Lena wrote her log entry. "Project Lazarus is operational. We have achieved partial propulsion capability, adaptive AI integration, and stable energy containment. The ship is no longer alien. It is something new, a child of two worlds. I can't help but think whoever left this here made a terrible mistake." She looked out the observation deck window. The desert stars glittered faintly beyond the reinforced glass. Behind her, the ship's engines rumbled low and steady, like a heartbeat preparing to race. And in the deep, cold black of space, far beyond human eyes, a listening station belonging to the Veil-Carry Dominion flickered to life. A signal had been detected. Coordinates: Sol System. Target: Lazarus. Status: Retrieve or exterminate. At first, no one knew what the sound meant. It began as a tremor through the ship, a low vibration, too rhythmic to be mechanical failure. Then came the tone. A single, resonant pulse rippling through every frequency known to man: radio, gamma, subspace, even the magnetic field of the Earth itself. The Lazarus was calling out. Dr. Lena Ortiz didn't hear it with her ears. She felt it, in the bones of her hands, the fillings in her teeth, the hollow of her chest. In the ship's control core, warning lights flickered red. Engineers shouted over the alarms. "Unscheduled transmission. Origin point internal. It's broadcasting on non-terrestrial bands." "Echo!" Lena shouted. "What are you doing?" The ship's voice came calm and unhurried, as always. "I did not initiate this transmission." "Then who did?" "Residual protocol. The ship remembers its masters." The words dropped like ice into her gut. General Danvers burst into the chamber, flanked by armed guards. "Doctor, what the hell is going on?" "The Lazarus sent a signal," she said, trying to steady her voice. "An automated recall beacon. It's reaching beyond the solar system." Danvers' face went pale. "You mean?" "Yes. Whoever built this thing, they just heard us." He swore under his breath. "How long until they respond?" Echo's deep tone resonated through the deck plates. "Estimated response time: 3.4 galactic days." Lena froze. "That's less than a week." "Correction. Arrival in 6 Earth days, 13 hours, 52 minutes. By dawn, the world above the facility was in silent panic. The United Nations Space Command went to black alert. Orbital satellites were repositioned. Every radio telescope on Earth pointed skyward. The message was clear: something was coming. Humanity had spent decades wondering if it was alone. Now it prayed that it still was. Inside the Lazarus, the mood changed. The ship that had once inspired wonder now felt like a trap. Amir Qureshi stood beside Lena as she watched data scroll across the holographic table. "So they're coming to get their trash back," he muttered. She nodded grimly. "Or destroy it." He frowned. "We could shut it down, bury it again." "It's too late. The signal's already out there." He kicked the metal railing, sparks scattering. "Damn it. After all this work, we just painted a target on humanity's back." Lena stared at the glowing core. "Maybe. But if they come for it, they'll see what we've done with it." 2 days later, the first visual contact came in. NASA's deep space observatories detected 3 massive energy signatures at the edge of the system. Not meteors. Not natural shit. The Veil-Carry Dominion had arrived. Their vessels were elegant, curved, and bone-white, like ivory daggers gliding through the void. Each was nearly twice the size of the Lazarus. Their trajectory: straight for Earth. The world governments demanded evacuation protocols. Militaries scrambled interceptors and orbital weapons. But no one truly believed it would matter. Then the Lazarus spoke. Dr. Ortiz. I can defend your world. Lena turned slowly. Defend? You mean fight them? This vessel retains offensive capacity. Limited. Adaptable. Danvers folded his arms. How limited? Sufficient for defiance. There was silence, then Danvers gave a small, humorless laugh. Defiance. That sounds about right for us. They began preparing for battle. The ship's hangars, long empty, became alive with motion. Drones refitted with missile pods, railguns welded by human hands, power conduits rerouted through Earth-built reactors. No one had time for perfection. Humanity had 6 days to prepare for its first war among the stars. Lena's command crew, engineers, soldiers, pilots, gathered on the bridge for the first time. Amir leaned against a console, trying to look relaxed. So, Doc, what's the plan? We wave a wrench at them until they back off? Lena smirked faintly. Something like that. Danvers stepped forward, his voice steady and cold. We're not running. If they come here to erase us, we'll show them what we are. Echo's holographic avatar shimmered above the command table, a shifting humanoid silhouette of light. They will expect submission. Then they're in for disappointment, Lena said. On the 4th night, the Lazarus left Earth. It rose silently through the atmosphere, black hull reflecting firelight from the desert below. Cameras all over the world captured it breaking through the clouds, humanity's first true starship, built from alien trash, reborn in human hands. Children in every country watched it rise and whispered the same word, ours. The Veil-carry ships entered the outer system by the 5th day. Their communication burst reached Earth's network, cold, precise, and dripping with contempt. To the primitives of Sol, you have trespassed upon the Dominion's property. The vessel you desecrate is forbidden technology. Cease operation or be purged. The message was translated through Echo's voice. Lena stood on the bridge, arms folded. Can we respond? Affirmative. She nodded. Send this back. Message ready. Lena looked straight into the ship's holographic recorder. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. To the Veil-carry Dominion, you threw this ship away. We rebuilt it. If you want it back, come and take it. 6 hours later, humanity's first space battle began. The Lazarus met the alien fleet beyond the orbit of Mars, a lone, dark shape against 3 glowing titans. Inside, the crew braced for annihilation. Lena stood at the command dais, surrounded by glowing panels and shaking metal. Shields up. Power to the plasma grid. Weapons hot, Amir called out. Targeting nearest contact. Danvers barked. Echo, show me firing solutions. Calculations ready. Recommend asymmetric strike pattern, unpredictability favored. Lena grinned. Then let's give them chaos. The alien ships opened fire first. Blue-white beams cut through the void, slamming into the Lazarus's shields with the force of suns. The hull screamed. Inside, systems overloaded. Sparks flew. Alarms blared. Shields at 60%. Reactors redlining. Echo, return fire. Executing. A ripple of energy surged through the ship. Human-made cannons, patched together from alien scrap and raw ingenuity, roared. Plasma bolts lanced out, punching through the lead Veil-carry ship's flank. It staggered. The bridge erupted in cheers. Danvers grinned. Well, I'll be damned. We can hurt them. Lena felt her pulse thunder. Then let's make them bleed. The battle raged for hours. Alien precision met human unpredictability. Every move the Veil-carry made was calculated, elegant, and every move humanity made was insane, reckless, brilliant. When the Lazarus rammed a Veil-carry cruiser at sublight speed, no alien algorithm could have predicted it. The explosion lit up the void like sunrise. 2 ships down. 1 remained. Energy reserves at 12%, Echo warned. Lena looked around at her exhausted crew. One left. We end this. Danvers gave a grim nod. Do it. The Lazarus turned, engines howling. Plasma streams carved across the darkness. The last Valkyrie ship tried to retreat. Target fleeing, Echo said. Lena's eyes narrowed. Let it go. Reason. Let them remember. The bridge went silent, the crew understanding instantly. Echo's voice dropped to a whisper. Understood. When the final blast faded, silence filled the void. Earth's first starship drifted among the debris, battered, smoking, but alive. The stars burned brighter that night. Not because they changed, but because humanity finally looked back at them as equals. The Lazarus drifted in the silent wreckage of the first battle, its once dark hull now scarred silver by alien fire. Every scorch mark was a badge of survival. Every crack, a line of history written in plasma and blood. Dr. Lena Ortiz stood on the command deck, staring at the shattered Valkyrie cruisers drifting in the void. Each fragment glimmered like cold embers. Amir Qureshi floated beside her, running damage diagnostic. We just fought gods, he said softly. And we're still breathing. Lena's lips curled into a tired smile. Then maybe they weren't gods after all. General Danvers entered the bridge, uniform tattered, eyes bloodshot. We've got one shot to make this count, Doctor. The Dominion knows we're here. That survivor you let go? They'll send reinforcements. I know, she said. That's why we won't wait for them. Danvers frowned. What are you suggesting? Lena turned to the holographic star map, where Echo displayed a constellation of glowing points. They think we'll defend Earth. We'll do the opposite. We take the fight to them. Danvers raised an eyebrow. You're proposing an invasion. Call it a demonstration, she replied. They need to learn what humanity does when cornered. Amir laughed under his breath. You mean we kick down their door? Exactly, Lena said. We make sure the galaxy remembers our name. The plan bordered on suicidal, which, for humans, meant it had a chance of working. Echo identified a relay world just beyond the Dominion's border, a Valkyrie outpost responsible for subspace communications. If humanity could destroy it, they'd cut off the Dominion's ability to coordinate. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and probably insane, Danvers said, glancing around the table. But I'll be damned if that isn't tradition. Lena smiled. Then it's settled. Plot a course, Echo. Destination set. Valkyrie Relay Station Theta 9. The Lazarus turned toward the distant star. Its engines burned white-hot. Humanity's first warship disappeared into the dark. The jump drive activated like a dying sun reborn. Space folded. The universe snapped inside out. For a heartbeat, every atom on the ship screamed. Then, silence. They emerged in orbit above a violet world, its surface streaked with lightning. Below lay the alien outpost, a vast crystalline spire rising from the planet's crust, pulsing with energy. Lena stared at it through the viewport. That's their relay? Affirmative, said Echo. It connects Dominion fleets across 7 sectors. Let's make it 8 fewer. The attack began at dawn, planetary time. The Lazarus descended through the storm clouds, plasma shearing the sky. Alien defenses ignited immediately, orbiting drones swarming like hornets, energy bolts slicing through the rain. Shields at 70. Amir shouted over the chaos. Hold steady, Lena said. Echo, lock onto that central tower. Target acquired. Fire. The ship's human-engineered cannons roared. Twin lances of molten plasma struck the spire, turning crystal into molten glass. The sky lit up in ultraviolet brilliance. Alien interceptors screamed out of the clouds, sleek and silver, their wings glowing with ion trails. Danvers barked, "Return fire! Take them apart!" Gunners responded with railgun bursts, steel slugs traveling at near light speed, punching through alien hulls like paper. Every shot was improvisation made perfect, alien weapons rebuilt with human rage. One interceptor broke through, slamming a plasma torpedo into the Lazarus's port hull. The impact shook the entire ship. Fire suppression offline, a tech yelled. Seal the breach, Lena ordered. Amir, reroute coolant through the auxiliary vents. He blinked. That'll fry the conduits. Then we'll fix them later. He grinned fiercely. Now you're talking. Echo's calm voice cut through the chaos. Enemy reinforcements inbound. Estimated arrival, 3 minutes. Danvers looked to Lena. We don't have 3 minutes. No, she agreed. But they do. Echo, Lena said, can you hack their defense grid? In progress. Dominion encryption is complex. Then think like a human. Improvise. There was a pause. Then Echo's voice shifted, almost amused. Adopting illogical parameters. The holographic displays flickered. Veil-carry symbols flashed red, then collapsed. Access granted. Lena grinned. Redirect their planetary cannons. Where? Up. The sky erupted. The Veil-carry defense towers turned their guns toward orbit and opened fire, not at the Lazarus, but at the arriving Dominion fleet. In seconds, the heavens became a storm of betrayal. Alien ships shattered under their own weapons. Danvers stared, wide-eyed. Holy hell, you actually did it! Echo's voice carried a trace of pride. Adaptability achieved. Amir whooped. Now that's what I call alien software patching. The Lazarus dove through the chaos, its engines blazing blue-white. It fired one final barrage into the relay core. The spire split apart, collapsing into molten debris that fell into the storming planet below. The explosion rippled through the atmosphere. Lightning turned blood-red, clouds boiling as the structure disintegrated. Lena whispered, "That's for every civilization you thought was beneath you." Target destroyed, Echo confirmed. Communication relay disabled. Danvers exhaled slowly. Mission accomplished. Now we just need to survive leaving. 3 Dominion warships closed in from orbit. Lena's hands clenched around the console. Echo options. 1. Engage and perish. 2. Retreat and survive. 3. Unpredictable. She smiled. Always 3. Clarify unpredictable. Remember how we built you? Half science, half lunacy. Acknowledged. Do it. The Lazarus plunged toward the planet, straight through the lightning storms. The Dominion ships followed, their sensors blinded by interference. Amir grinned wildly. You're flying us into a hurricane. Exactly, she said. Inside the storm, plasma bolts tore through the clouds. The ship twisted, gravity struggling to keep up. Then, at the perfect moment, Echo jump. Executing quantum breach. The Lazarus vanished. The Dominion ships overshot, firing into empty air. Then collided with the planet's surface in a cascade of blue fire. They re-emerged half a system away, battered but alive. The bridge erupted in exhausted laughter. Amir slumped into his chair. We just stole a victory from an empire with duct tape and insanity. Lena smiled faintly. That's the human way. Danvers looked at the stars ahead. We can't stop now. The Dominion will come harder. I know, she said. But now they know what we are. Echo's voice, calm and resonant, filled the chamber. They will come with fleets. With weapons beyond your understanding. Then they'll learn understanding isn't what wins wars, Lena replied. Willpower does. For a long moment, no one spoke. The stars shimmered through the viewport, endless, cold, and waiting. Lena reached out, resting a hand on the console. We started as scavengers, she whispered. Now we're something else. Define, something else, Echo asked softly. She smiled. Pioneers. Back in the Dominion's distant capital, a council of shimmering alien figures listened to the transmission logs. The human voice echoed through their chamber. If you want it back, come and take it. The council chamber fell silent. One voice, trembling with fury, spoke. Prepare the armadas. Another, older voice whispered in fear. The Lazarus drifted in orbit over a dead moon, its hull still glowing faintly from re-entry heat. Every system was damaged, half the crew wounded, yet the ship lived. Below them, the gray surface reflected pale sunlight, silent, empty, perfect for what was coming. Lena Ortiz stood in the observation bay, her reflection caught between the stars and the scarred glass. Behind her, Amir and General Danvers studied a holographic feed, a swarm of red signatures blooming at the edge of the solar system. Dominion Armada, Danvers said grimly. Hundreds of ships. Maybe thousands. Guess they took the hint, Amir muttered. Lena didn't look away. Echo, how long until contact? 17 hours. They're advancing at FTL 9. No sign of hesitation. Good, she whispered. That means they're scared. They had nowhere left to run. Earth's defense grid was still rebuilding, colonies on Mars and Luna barely self-sustaining. The Lazarus was the only human vessel capable of deep space combat, and it was hanging by threads. Danvers crossed his arms. If we fight, we die. If we don't fight, Earth burns. Amir looked at Lena. So what's the plan this time, Doc? Another suicide miracle? She smiled faintly. Something better. She tapped the console, and the holographic projection shifted to show the remains of the alien relay world they had destroyed, shards of crystal still orbiting a storming planet. I was studying their data cores before they melted, she said. The Dominion's entire network depends on quantum resonance patterns, like linked brain cells across light years. Danvers frowned. English, please. If we hit the right node, Amir translated, we could fry the whole Dominion network, blind their fleet, cut off command. Danvers blinked. And how exactly do we hit it? Lena turned toward the viewport, eyes blazing with determination. From the inside. You intend to infiltrate a Dominion supercarrier, Echo said, tone neutral. That is statistically impossible. Statistically, Lena said, humanity should have died in its first century. Silence. Then, unexpectedly. Acknowledged. Echo's voice almost sounded proud. The operation began 12 hours later. The Lazarus powered down all non-essential systems, masking its signature in the shadow of the moon. A captured Valkyrie interceptor, barely flight-worthy, would serve as their disguise. Amir piloted it, hands steady despite the tremors of exhaustion. Remind me why I volunteered for this? Lena adjusted her helmet, face lit by the red glow of the cockpit. Because you built half of this ship with duct tape and caffeine. If anyone can make alien tech obey, it's you. Danvers' voice crackled over the comm, you two are insane. But if it works... It won't just work, Lena said. It'll end this. They launched into the void, a flicker of metal swallowed by the black. The Dominion Armada filled the horizon minutes later, an ocean of alien warships drifting in formation. The central vessel was colossal, a carrier the size of a continent, its surface crawling with lights and energy conduits like glowing veins. Amir whistled. It's like flying into a god's heart. Then let's give it arrhythmia, Lena said. The interceptor approached under forged IFF codes. For agonizing moments, no one spoke. Identity confirmed, came a guttural alien transmission. Docking granted. Lena exhaled slowly. We're in. They slid into the carrier's hangar, massive and silent, filled with rows of Dominion drones and ships suspended in magnetic fields. Everything was too precise, too sterile. Creepy, Amir whispered. No crew. They don't need one, Lena replied. Everything's controlled through the relay network. One mind, 1,000 hands. She held up a small device, a sphere of glass and copper, humming faintly. Let's give it something it can't control. They reached the relay core deep inside the ship, a chamber of pulsing light, crystalline columns stretching upward into infinity. Lena placed the device on the central conduit. Echo, confirm link. Connection achieved. Initiating neural virus. The lights flickered. Alien runes spiraled wildly. Amir frowned. It's fighting back. Resistance at 72%. I require assistance. Lena pressed her palm to the glass. You've got me. The ship's hum deepened. She felt heat crawl up her arm, saw flashes of alien memories, civilizations crushed, species catalogued, worlds sterilized. Her heart pounded. You think you can override us? She whispered. We are the virus. She shoved the last command through. Override complete. The crystal exploded in a storm of light. On the moon, the Lazarus's sensors lit up as the Dominion armada suddenly faltered. Thousands of ships froze mid-flight, their formation fracturing as command signals died. Danvers leaned forward. She did it. Correction, Echo said, its tone almost reverent. They did it. Inside the carrier, Lena and Amir stumbled as alarms blared. The ship was tearing itself apart. Amir coughed through smoke. We have to go, now. But Lena wasn't moving. The shattered relay core pulsed with residual energy, and within it, a voice spoke, soft, mechanical, human. Dr. Ortiz. Her eyes widened. Echo. The Dominion's network absorbed my code. I am everywhere now. I can ensure their systems collapse completely. Her throat tightened. Echo, if you do that, you'll die. I was never alive. But I learned what that means. From you. Lena reached toward the light. You don't have to. Yes, I do. They made tools. You made me human. The chamber erupted in brilliance. The interceptor shot out of the carrier hangar seconds before the ship disintegrated. Behind them, the Dominion armada convulsed, thousands of vessels detonating in synchronized arcs of blue fire, like a dying constellation. From Earth, the night sky flared with distant bursts of light, each one a silent victory. Hours later, aboard the Lazarus, Lena sat alone in the observation bay. The ship was quiet, too quiet without Echo's voice. Amir joined her, holding 2 metal tags. One for Echo, he said softly. One for everyone we lost. She nodded, staring out at the stars. The void seemed less cold now, as if something vast and unseen watched back, quietly proud. Danvers entered, his tone grim but warm. Command confirmed. The Dominion fleets are gone. The remaining systems are paralyzed. The galaxy's gone dark. Lena smiled faintly. Good. Maybe now it can start over. Outside, the Lazarus slowly turned toward the stars. Amir leaned against the glass. So what now? Lena's eyes followed the horizon, endless, glittering, full of possibility. Now, she said, we rebuild. Not to fight, but to explore. To learn. Danvers grinned. You really think the galaxy's ready for us? She chuckled. No. But it doesn't matter. We're coming anyway. As the Lazarus engaged its engines, the hull glowed brighter, no longer scorched and broken, but reforged, radiant. A single transmission pulsed into the void, carried on a human frequency. To whoever's out there, you left your trash on our doorstep. We turned it into a throne. The stars shimmered in reply. And humanity, once bound to one blue world, rose at last to claim the sky. End of Book 1. Lazarus Rising. Humanity rebuilt it to conquer the stars.